Gandhi's passing because of 1932 issue. Apart from that, there is a reason for that kind of sentiment or that kind of attitude because of the quality of representative in the assembly and the parliament from the reserved constituency. I have completely forgo the purpose in which they have been elected, the purpose in which, the objective in which that reserved constituency was created. So that is the reason this kind of attitude developed. The second thing which I was highlighting, the violence, atrocities against violence is very, very painful, which has created enormous amount of time for the people who have struggled to achieve justice. That is why I refer Manoj Mehta's book, Caste Pride and Battle for Equality in Hindu India, where he carefully titled, I suppose, because this particular book provides a detailed account of very painful event across the India and the legal process, legal battle the people have gone through. And starting with Keel Venmani and also the end with Lakshmanpur Pate. Lakshmanpur Pate was unfortunately happened just one day before 50th year of our independence. August 15, 1997, Delhi going to celebrate 50th year of independence. In Bihar, Lakshmanpur Pate, more than 60 people are killed by Ranveer Sena. So, during the British time, colonial time, this kind of a mass atrocities, mass violence never happened. There was a caste conflict, but the caste conflict was the British colonial state handled it much, much meticulously, and also not intercaste violence was not very much prevalent in colonial period. But independent India, first time they saw it in Mudugalatur, where Immanuel Segaran, one of the very pioneer in southern Tamil Nadu, who was organizing the people for the better education, better employment, better livelihood, and so on and so forth. And he was sit on the tea shop, local tea shop in Ramanathapuram, with sitting in a cross leg. So that time, one of the dominant caste leader passed by, and he didn't stood up. And also he sat cross-legged in the peace committee meeting was organized by the district collectorate. That time also he is sitting in a cross-leg in front of him. So this is taken offended. So he was murdered in a day broad life, and then it continued violence for more than a week time. But that time Kamaraj was handled it much more sensitively and fairly. So, but after Keel Venmani in 1968, in Tanjavur district, agriculture worker demand a better wage, just 1 liter paddy for their labor. They are not asking for arm. They are asking for a fair wage, just 1 liter of paddy extra, for which there was struggle, and 44 lives have been burned alive in one room. Most of them are women and children. And this was a landmark history in the independent India. And before that, there was no such a mass atrocity happened. The state that time in power, just DMK came to power that time and C.N. Annadurai. And C.N. Annadurai's response to this Keel Venmani is thunder and lightning comes and go. And in 5 or 6 crores of population, this will happen. We will forget. We never remember thunder and lightning. This is Annadurai, Peraringer Annadurai, great scholar. This is a response of Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu that time. And Periyar's response, wage is a prerogative of the landlord. A worker have no right to demand wage. This is a Periyar's response to Keel Venmani. So, when this is a process went and finally even the High Court and Supreme Court, nothing happened. High Court said, person who own hundreds acre of land, owning a car, won't do such a heinous crime. Therefore, he is released. But natural justice has been done. After he was released, natural justice has been done by the activist. Okay. Not only this, most of the very important and landmark, historical landmark violence again in Andhra Pradesh 1991, Chundoor. Just a small the class in the cinema theatre and cost more than 10 lives, more than 10 lives of Dalit, and that too the killing was brutal and barbarity. Because people killed, not just killed, they made it piece and pack it in a coney bag and throw it in Tungabhadra river. This was a landmark and barbarity ever one can witness. So this Chundoor massacre created, because every crisis creates opportunity. That way Chundoor massacre created an opportunity to form Dalit Mahasabha under the leadership of Katti Padmarao, and where they have organized all India level more than 5,000 people at Delhi, and I also one of the participant in that rally. And first time ever in Indian independence, all 110 elected Lok Sabha MPs gathered at one place, which is not even stand more than half an hour. Just more than half an hour they could not stand. Because 110 MP, if they put the resignation, the government would have been collapsed. Instability should have been come. And we could have thought the alternative. But nothing happened. Because the electoral system and the elected MPs and the MLAs of this reserve constituency, I think Narendra Kumar from JNU have done meticulous research on how the reserve constituency MPs and the MPs particularly have reflected the issues of SC and ST in the parliament, in the Lok Sabha. It's a PhD thesis and I think it's published as well. So that 1991 Chundoor, it's before nothing happened and after also there is nothing happened, but violence is continuous. Violence is continued across India, even today. So this opportunity, this what happened, Katti Padmarao able to, in Dalit Mahasabha, able to get their demand. First demand, the proceeding of a case should be happen in the same village. So the government of government of India agreed to that there should be a special session court will be constructed in Chundur. But today it's defaulted. Completely the building and all this thing completely closed. So I visited recently. And second, 2 acre of land as a compensation for entire village, Chundur village residents. 3, schools and college will be constructed and provided in the Chundur. It happened. It's all still functioning. And not only for providing every year fodder for the cattle. So most of the demand was accepted. However, the unity of the elected representative of SCST never happened. However, this is a landmark because before and after never happened. So we have to squarely understand the pain and the agony of these atrocities, which is very, very, it's undemocratic, inhuman and barbaric. Because hardly any public intellectuals or in an academic forum, these things are hardly discussed. Then the third significant issues which Dalit politics taken is the implementation of reservation. Okay. Implementation, reservation provided at central government, central level, 22.5% for SC/ST. At the state level, differ. Karnataka some percentage, Tamil Nadu 18.1 because 18% for SC, 1% for tribal ST. So considerable amount of time for educated employed youth have been spent on this particular issues. Okay. And I have a personal note on this. Even the university, very progressive and left university called Jawaharlal Nehru University, till 1991 or 92, not even 10% of reservation is fulfilled. And even the library did not have the volumes of Ambedkar and the literature of Dalit literature. Is never read in the library, found in the library. Because these are, in that time, 1991, 92, 22 volume of Ambedkar volume, Ambedkar speeches and writing is already released by our government. But nothing. When the library itself not having, and this curriculum, social science curriculum completely negated most of the Ambedkar's writing, Ambedkar ideology, Ambedkar struggle, and also the Dalit movement and Dalit movement struggle. So what happened when the Chundur happened is out of Chundur, Jawaharlal Nehru University Dalit students formed a student organization. It's called United Dalit Student Forum. This is a personal note. So United Dalit Student Forum was not apolitical. Apolitical means not apolitical. It's not a party politics. It won't contest in the election, but it will do politics. Everyday politics. It will make everyday politics, but it not contest in the election. So first meeting 92, I joined and immediately called, asked the senior members. Then they said, no, we have a UDS, but we are not having a regular meeting. Then I invited only out of 600 students, only 18 or 20 students have come. Then, because I am very much optimistic, I never been pessimistic in my throughout life. So I went to, because that 18, 6 or 7 friends have picked up, went to door and campaign, and they organized a second meeting within 3 months. It was 150. Like that, in a year, almost 600 people participated. And once your consolidation and mobilization with the uncompromising, consistent with the conviction to the cause, automatically support will come. So what happened? There was a serious problem because even in 1990 till 1992, higher education and universities not even crossed 3% of teaching position. And even higher education, MPhil, MA, PhD, hardly 5%. So one of the landmarks which I referred was Baba Saheb Ambedkar's centenary celebration, 1991, which is 1990-91, which is open up the floodgate of the first generation higher education who have completed. They have come out openly, identified themselves, and identity become a power, and they have created a sea of changes. In even faculty representation, out of 500 teaching faculty in Jawaharlal Nehru University in 25 years, only 5 faculty, I can name them, because they are all selected on merit, not in reservation. 5 members, rest of them no. Out of 22%, if 500 faculty, 22%, how much it should have been? It would have been minimum 150, 160. But nothing happened. This is the highest progress, so-called progressive university. Imagine other university, but we have not left. We have fought it and we have achieved it. Second achievement we did was in UGC writing NET and JRF. Uniformly the mark was fixed. 55% in post-graduation eligible to appear in the UGC exam. Most of the Dalit and also OBC may not study it in an English medium or may not exposed in a very academic environment like this. Or they may not study it in because their parents also may not study it. So we have asked 5% relaxation to appear in the UGC exam. Okay, but the UGC HRD ministry was refused. 3 times we have struggled. 3 times. From 94 to 98. We have struggled, and the first struggle was not 3,000 people, including ABVP extended the support. Because the strength of the UDSF decides who will win, who will lose. The power of democracy, power of vote is more important. We have to tell the people the power of vote and the power of democracy. Because now vote for cars, vote for a cash, and people have been sold themselves for 5,000 rupees, because Tamil Nadu is set a model for this also. So finally, 1998, UDS achieved relaxation, getting relaxation of 5%. SC/ST student for post-graduation, 50% is eligible to appear, writing JRF as well as becoming lecturer in the university and colleges. Today, lakhs and lakhs of people are benefited. One of them is mine. Till 98, no hope. But I am doing PhD. But after this struggle, this achievement, I become a faculty member, one of the best institute. So, these are achievement, positive. And also one of the very, very significant and extremely important contribution comes from literary, Dalit literature. Dalit literature was contributed immensely for the betterment of society, for creating a just society. I have habit of reading translation as well as Tamil, English and other languages. Biography, autobiography, fiction, short story collection, poetry is all very, very important. If you are doing social science, please consider reading poetry, reading autobiography, reading biography, reading fiction. It's very important because here humanity, because in the morning my friend was talking about humanity. Humanity will find only in the literature. Social Science Academy and the formal Social Science Academia is failed to incorporate adequately the literature. But literature adequately incorporated a theory, social science theory and social science research. But Social Science Academia, economy, history, political science, sociology, and so on and so forth, hardly incorporated literary contribution. I can name them, some of them, because it's a long list, very few in order to, but this is also not name dropping. The name which I am reading, it's not name dropping. I have read meticulously. Siddhalingaya, ஒரு சேரி ஒரு கேரி. ஊரு கேரி. But in Tamil translation, Siddhalingaya, Devanur Mahadevan, Namdev Dosle, Om Prakash Valmiki, G. Kalyan Rao, Bama, Sivagami, Imayam, Sugirdarani, Arangamalliga, K. Gunasegaran, Tagali Sivasangaran Pillai, and many more. It's continuing. Their contribution is extremely powerful and extremely more progressive. And I will tell one example. Y.P. Satyanarayana. How many of you watched Kabali? My father Balaya. Yeah. Because when in Kabali, the first sort of Rajinikanth introduction, Rajinikanth reading a book in the jail. That book was My Father Balaya, English because he wrote in English. Because before that I don't know, nobody introduced that book. So after seeing the movie, I went to bookshop and purchased and read and wrote a lengthy review. My Father Balaya is a 3 generations struggle, 3 generation progress. My Father Balaya's grandfather was a cobbler, and Nizam Hyderabad Nizam was passed by their village and he has made a very special shoe to gift the Nizam. He gifted with the impression Nizam has donated more than 100 acre of land to this person. But the local landlord snatched land except 5 acre. 5 acre left. Thankful generosity. If all the land is, why I am saying this, a piece of land, how transform the community, how transform the family, and etc. That is why land struggle, Dalit land struggle was very significant, but it is not happened. After post-independence era, land struggle was not happened. It should have been happened. So my father Balaya's entire autobiography, very powerful. Please read. And also Tagali Sivasangaran Pillai, ஒரு தோட்டியின் மகன், a son of a scavenger, manual scavenger. It's in Malayalam. Translation available in English and also Tamil. And this is very painful to read. We have to have a, because how the scavengers, manual scavengers, and they are treated by us. Indeed, the first pamphlet I wrote in Jawaharlal Nehru University, because Jawaharlal Nehru University provides a space for democratic space for reflection, democratic space for your views and expression, your freedom of expression. So first pamphlet I wrote in Jawaharlal Nehru University was Forgotten Humanism. The morning was saying Forgotten Humanism. So pamphlet I wrote this because we are using our restroom. JNU also, because around 12 hostels are there. Each hostels are boys and girls are separate, and a boys hostel generally nasty and they do all kinds of things. Who clean it? These people, sanitation worker. Do we given them some precautionary gloves, gumboot, or even to change the dress, because women, most of them are women. They come in the early morning and after work, they cannot have a place to change the dress. This is the condition even today. This recently Chennai, there sanitation workers protest and strike, and one of the demand is please provide us a room to change and sit for a while. Not merely a wage. This also very essential. But we have forgotten the humanism. But that one pamphlet changed. Yeah. That one pamphlet changed the entire university, and now they have gloves, gumboot, and also a room. So we have to voice, humanity never comes from the heaven. Humanity comes from our heart, our conscience. Because caste is a state of mind. In order to change the state of mind, education is one. Mere education alone not help. Education with conscience, education with morality, education with ethics, education with concern for other. Speak for voiceless for voice. That is why Baba Saheb Ambedkar started with the first journalist in the name of voiceless people. So this literature provides a huge, enormous contribution. And finally, as I said, there are 6 landmarks we have to, any research you are taking it in social science, these landmarks are very important. First, Baba Saheb Ambedkar centenary celebration. Second, Mandal Commission implementation. Mandal Commission implementation have radically changed the classroom, radically changed the academic institution. Before Mandal Commission, caste was a mere reference for reservation and also violence. That's all. Nothing more than that. No detailed description, detailed about the caste and caste, meticulous detail about the caste system. But Mandal Commission, after Mandal Commission, people have written, spoke in the public as well as in the academic institution, particularly classroom. Basically, what Mandal Commission done, both positive and also some negative. I don't want to go detail. The third landmark is deregularization of Indian economy. People call it as a economic reform. I don't. It is a deregulation of Indian economy with the LPG process. Liberalization, privatization and globalization. Initially they thought the foreign international companies, multinational companies might change the system, Indian system, but nothing happened. So this LPG and deregulation, because I referred Baba Saheb Ambedkar, economy system should not be deregularized. Economy system should be regularized, both private and public. So deregulation of Indian economy is the greatest impact today. I will come and I will spend some time. Next, demolition of Babri Masjid. Demolition of Babri Masjid questions our credential on secularism. We failed, utterly failed our credential on allowing to happen. Demolition of Babri Masjid is a historic blunder. The next one is the introduction of 73rd and 74th Amendment, local self-government. Local self-government was an eye-opener for many states, how really the rural are, how really the village are, how the people are in the village. It's completely reopened the debate on the village and the village caste system. But it has developed, and also women have proved their competence by becoming Panchayat president and proving their competence in terms of governance, village governance, local governance. And finally, the introduction of information technology revolution. Information technology revolution is provide us, you and me, for cascade of cell phone, smartphone, and television, and so on and so forth. So now everything in our fingertip. Only thing, how we use it, how we edit it, which one is selecting is the major concern. That is where the youth require guidance. Because youth are now completely in directionless. They are ready to, they are very progressive, better than us. But our forefathers provide us a space where I stand today. But the question remains whether we have provided or created a space for next generation for a peaceful coexistence. This is a major question, and that is why the public employment, public education become major crisis because of privatization. Those who have money, those who have this, they will flourish. And one of the pioneer article by Deepak Naik, two phases of globalization. It's a fantastic article. Please read it. How globalization dangerous. How globalization suck our resources, both natural and human resources, and throw it in a dustbin. So like that, another 5 to 10 years, Dalit population will face a tremendous crisis for access to education, access to public employment, access to public health. We have hardly addressed the youth of this generation, how they are to guide, because they need a guidance. But we are not able to provide a guidance. And only way you can provide a guidance is another conference. Another conference. What if Baba Saheb Ambedkar alive? Thank you very much. Jai Hind.